Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for all the citizens gathered here tonight. Thank you for the blessings you've given each and every one of us. Pray that you just be with all of us here tonight as we go about the business of our city. Guide us and help us make the right decisions. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Attention, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the flag. I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people.
Item 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of May 11th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, item passes. Number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments April 4th, 2026 through May 1, 2026, or take other necessary action.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, item passes. Item 3, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments May 2nd, 2026 through May 29th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, item passes. I will now open.
Number 4.
Oh, number 4, please. I'm sorry.
Hold a public hearing to discuss the City of Muskogee budget for fiscal year 2026-2027 and take other necessary action.
I will now open a public hearing. Mr. Reed?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. We have we're going to present a quick budget presentation for all of you. Just to remind you that there's a lot that goes into this budget. Tonight's presentation will be just a quick rundown of everything. The budget book was put on the website Thursday in preparation for this meeting, so it is available out there for all the citizens to go out there and look at, and I encourage them to review the budget. And of course, if there's any questions, they can always ask those questions. So as far as the draft budget, it is a very detailed budget, and we have everything that the city does is right here listed for you. We have public safety, Parks and Recs department. We have our own legal department, which a lot of cities don't have employed city attorneys. We have economic development. We have an airport. So in that budget book, you're going to see a budget for every one of these items that you see before you. We have a total of 55 funds that we budget for. 50 of those funds are city funds. We have 3 for our MMA, then we have 1 for the MRA and 1 for the parking authority. The next 2 pages that I'm going to show you is a very detailed, or it's a summary of every single fund that we budgeted for, starting with the general fund and all the way down to the MRA and parking authority. This was published in the newspaper on May 30th, and to meet the requirements for this public hearing. Now, I'll just remind you, like I said, we're not going to go over every single one of these funds tonight. We're going to hit highlights and go from there. And here is the second half. I apologize if that's hard to see, but we're trying to just kind of crunch everything down and get it in there. But this is provided in the budget book as well. So our budget principles that we live by, of course, is budget must comply with statutory charter and local ordinance considerations. Budget must be in balance. We only spend our current revenues only, with the exceptions of emergencies and planned one-time events. And then my responsibility is to preserve the long-time fiscal health of the city. So where does the money come from when it comes to the general fund? 56% of our revenue stream comes from taxes and franchise fees. The taxes consist of sales tax, use tax, beverage tax, and then, of course, the franchise fees. The other 38% is our utilities, which comes from water and sewer revenue and solid waste. And then we'll kind of close out with the other 4%, which is just fines, forfeitures, interest revenue, and license and permits. Where is that money spent? 71% of the general fund budget is personnel costs, which comprised of wages and benefits. 22% are operating costs, and the other 7% are transfers out. Those transfers are consisted of money towards economic development, street and alley. We got a couple transfers out to our parks departments as well. Here's a quick synopsis of the revenues and expenditures for current year, last fiscal year, and then, of course, the budget for next fiscal year. When we started this budget, over 4 months ago, we had just $47.9 million in requests within the general fund. And to balance the budget, we had to get down to that $46.9 million. That was a $1.02 million reduction. And I'm not saying by reduction we cut any services. You know, we ask our staff to make requests based off of what they feel like they need, and then of course we have to possibly move budgets around, move it to the other funds where we see it appropriate. But it's a hard task to cut down $1 million. So as of right now, our general fund revenue assumptions, our sales tax projection is up 4.2% over the current year for next year's budget. Our use tax is up just over 10%. Our water revenue down is just over 10%. Now, with that water revenue being down, we have equated that to water usage as is down. Looking at the numbers, I would assume that citizens are being a little more conscious about water usage to be more cost effective for them. And our franchise fees are up 60%. And please, at any time, if you have any questions, please let me know. As when it comes to the general funds, our general fund budget is up $2.6 million over the prior year. Some of the high costs equated to that are increased insurance premiums. Personnel costs is up, which is for wages, raises for the unions, workers' comp. And again, 71% of our general fund is employee compensation and benefits. General fund summary. Our general fund is driven by revenue and expense assumptions. We prioritize the funds for our strategic initiatives. And as always, we take a very conservative expense management. We're going to move into our capital outlay. We had $3 million in new requests for equipment and projects. We had just over $1.5 million in new money. Just a quick highlight of some of the things that are in that budget are some new vehicles for inspections and code enforcement, some new vehicle scanners for the garage. We got a 4x4 tractor for public works, and then we got some new playground equipment for various parks throughout the city. Again, there is a very detailed list of every single item that was approved in the capital list that is in the budget book. Tourism, hotel motel collections are up 31% over prior year. And we just wanted to highlight that, a lot of good things going on in Muskogee. Some of the events and sponsorships that Director O'Neill has planned are a Balloon Fest that is coming up, Sports Expo. We got some Sky Kings sponsorship. We got the Shriner PBR, and then we've got a Major League Fishing Tackle Warehouse event that is coming in to town. Again, this is just a small list of events and sponsorships that he has planned. Economic development, $1.5 million is the funding from the general fund to fund economic development. That is a 60-40 split. $900,000 goes towards the operational side. The contract with the port is as of right now $500,000, and then we have a contract with Main Street Muskogee for $100,000. We've got some contract services, and of course operations is for staffing and staffing needs for economic development. The 40% is the opportunity account. As of right now, it gets $600,000 a year. It is currently covering debt service on a couple loans for economic development. And then we have $300,000 budgeted for infrastructure needs. Now I understand some of that's a little over $315,000 more than new money, but the opportunity account does have just over $1 million in rollover cash. So the fund is in budget. We're doing just fine with that. And just to highlight some other funds, we got the River Country Water Park, Park Development, and the airport. These are all enterprise funds that are self-sufficient and do not need any general fund subsidy. This moves us into, this past year we had the new CIP that passed by a vote of the citizens. As you see listed here, this is every single project that was approved within that CIP. The first 6 projects have funding allocated to them. Part of it was funded this year, and those projects are currently in progress or working towards being in progress. And then the remaining projects, the Public Works facility building, some hat box upgrades, and contracted maintenance and derelict structure will be in next year's budget. Revenues to date on the new CIP are just under $2 million, $1.99 million. We had an original projection of just over $2.1 million, so that new projection takes us just over 2.3. So that's a good sign. Sales tax is up. And then, as you saw on the prior list, the FY27 budget is just over $6 million in total for that new CIP. That brings us into our MMA. That is our water and sewer revenue. We have $3.7 million for capital projects. $1.9 million of that is covering debt service on 2 notes for ongoing projects at the water plant for clean and drinking water projects. The remaining amount of that goes towards just everyday needs needed by the department: street cutting, pipe fittings, pumps. There's a lot of things that are needed out there. It's pretty amazing. I got to go out there for the first time the other day at the water plant, so it's pretty neat. And of course, the big ticket item, of course, is that $109 million sewer plant that's currently in progress. That moves us into the Muskogee Redevelopment Authority. As of right now, the only thing budgeted within the MRA is for the purchase and sale of alcohol that we use, of course, for the Civic Center and at other parks events. And that budget for the MRA this year is at $100,000. The Parking Authority. The Muskogee Parking Authority maintains and rents spaces for 9 lots. Most of those are right here downtown that we rent to citizens that work downtown. We have budgeted $500,000 this year to look and see what need to be repair and replacement of some things out there at all these parking lots. And of course, the mission of the city of Muskogee is a privilege to make our neighbors' lives better every day. I apologize for my cracking voice. I'm not a very good public speaker, so. But that does bring us to the end of our presentation.
Good job.
Well, Mr. Reed, I appreciate you and your staff for all the hard work you put in on the budget every year.
Right.
And
Yeah.
being someone that started out here, I'm not saying anything negative about anybody in the past, but we used to wait for this report. So we appreciate all you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Having no one signed up to speak, I will now close this public hearing. Number 5, please.
Consider approval of 9 annual wholesale water agreements with the following wholesale water customers. Rural Water District Number 1, Rural Water District Number 2, Rural Water District Number 5, Rural Water District Number 6, Rural Water District Number 9, Haskell Public Works Authority, OK Public Works Authority, Porter Public Works Authority, and Taft Public Works Authority to be effective July 1, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So biannually, the agreements that the city has with these rural water districts to sell them treated water come up for renewal, and they are up for renewal this year. The only change to these agreements are the effective dates and then the rate increase from $2.06 to $2.15 that was approved by council on May 18th. We have not allocated any additional units of water to any of these rural water districts. They are getting the same amount of water as they got in their agreements 2 years ago when these were approved. Staff does recommend approval of these. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I move for approval.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall. Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, item passes. This meeting is adjourned. Mr. Hall.
I'd like to call to order the Public Works agenda for June 8th, 2046.
Item 1.
Item number 1.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of May 11th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
And a second. Roll call.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Agenda item number 2.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of Resolution Number 3093, a land use amendment request for the property located in the John T. Griffin Industrial Park, being located in the Northwest Section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, and the Southwest Section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, and the Northeast Section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, Muskogee County, State of Oklahoma, rezoning the property from R1 Single Family Residential and Legal Non-Conforming to I1 Light Industrial, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city.
I'd like to open up the public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. So this is in regard to the John T. Griffith second part that we just annexed. We had 1 year from the date of annexation to bring this into conformance as far as zoning goes. So this is going to run in tandem with the next agenda item, and basically we are just asking that this be rezoned to I-1 Light Industrial, which conforms with all the businesses that are currently in that area right now. So the land use amendment has to happen for this to be brought into conformance for zoning.
Do I need to do the public hearing first or no?
You should have one that's signed up for this item.
I have Ms. Grounds.
I don't see her here,
She's not here. I don't have anybody else signed up.
not for that item.
Anybody have any questions? Close that public hearing. We're going to get through this, guys, one way or the other.
I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley. Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Agenda item number 3.
That item passes.
Oh, item passes. Agenda item number 3.
Thank you. Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 4310A, a request to rezone the property located in the John T. Griffin Industrial Park, being located in the northwest section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, and the southwest section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, and the northeast section 15, Township 14 North, Range 18 East of the Indian Basin Meridian, Muskogee County, State of Oklahoma, rezoning the property from R1, single-family residential and legal nonconforming, to I1 light industrial, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city.
I now open the public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. So this is the rezone piece of that. So since we're having to add this to the land use amendment, which was what the previous one was, this is the one that's actually rezoning that. And we do recommend approval.
I do not have anybody signed up to speak to this, so I close the hearing.
I make motion for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Agenda item passes. Item number 4.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval to deny ordinance number 4311A, a request to rezone the property located at 4306 East Hancock Street, rezoning the property from A agricultural to I1 light industrial, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle?
Yes,
Oh.
thank you.
Hold on.
Oh, I need to open up the public
Thank you.
hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. So the applicant on this one has requested a rezone of the property located at 4306 East Hancock Street. It is currently zoned A agricultural. They are requesting a rezone to I1 light industrial. The proposed use of this property is going to be for industrial use in the establishment of a conservation easement and a tow salvage yard. With the proposed use as stated, it is the decision of the planning department that this proposal not be accepted on the basis that the future land use map best identifies this property conducive for residential development. The request does not conform to the 2025 Muskogee Comprehensive Plan and future land use map that we just passed. Additionally, the proximity to existing surrounding homes presents a concern for use disturbance and encroachment on those properties. Lastly, because of the positioning of the property and the access to the highway, it's the staff's recommendation that a tow salvage yard would not be an aesthetically pleasing use of the property for those entering the city limits on that side. While this was presented to the Planning Commission on June the 2nd, and approval was recommended by a 4-2 vote, it was not a unanimous vote. Staff does not recommend approval based on the facts that we stated. I just would like to state that we have to go off of the facts that we have in front of us. I can tell you that when the applicant came in, we did meet with him as a staff. My entire staff was in there for planning. We did go over the fact that based on these facts, it would not be recommended, but that they were welcome to still bring that to you guys for your decision, as it does rest in you guys' hands and not ours. That being said, the survey is on the left side of the screen that you can see. And then you can see our zoning map that is on the right. It is a completely agricultural area that it's all zoned in. And then the future land use map, as you can see, it is putting that whole area as suburban residential, which is something that is needed on the east side. I can answer any questions that you might have. I know that Mr. Bell is here and does have a presentation for you guys as well. So if you guys would be willing to let him give you that presentation, we have it queued up for him.
Mr. Bell, are you ready?
As ready as I'll be.
Mr. Dell, when he is up, hold up, would you get this guy right here to advance on your slide?
Okay, great, thank you. Mayor, members of council, members of the authority, I have a handout here, just some background information, some information. Be helpful. I don't want to take part of my 5 minutes to talk about it, so we can pass that out. I'd like to note that your recommending body, which is the Planning Commission, after discussion of this case in front of them and the particulars of this, there was a motion to deny with staff, the way staff wrote the agenda item, and there wasn't a second. And then there was a motion to approve, and the vote was approved at 4-2 at that point to recommend to you to approve this application. This is not a salvage yard. This is an industrial application. We have to go through a Board of Adjustment application for a special exception for the use that they're going to do ultimately, which is a tow yard. And what they use there is they repo banks' vehicles, and only banks and lending institutions at that point. There's no salvage to it. There's no junk vehicles. It's set up to be strictly that. Now, that was not a part of my application to staff. My application did not include that use because that use doesn't come with the light industrial zoning. It comes after the light industrial zoning and requires a Board of Adjustment approval, and it requires us to give a full-blown site plan and how we're going to do business, and that is something that the Board of Adjustment determines. This was an application for zoning to light industrial, and actually, we intended to have some commercial zone in there. We understood that the city of Muskogee doesn't want us to have different zones on the same piece of property, so therefore we changed it all to industrial. Our intent, though, is the front 4 acres on Hancock Street we think is best used in the future for commercial use related to the port and to the highway system, but we're going to wait on that when it's appropriate and we have a user to go in there and do that. So what we have here is, when I first talked to staff, they said there was concern that this area be reserved to not affect the residential lands that are around it. What we've determined is this property cannot be developed for residential, and hopefully I have some time to get to that. But so the back acreage and the L on the west side of this property is already established, or in a process of established as a conservation easement, will never be developed. We did that as a tool that is being used. Your comprehensive plan is being used to keep this as a vacant property, because the use cannot be used, residential cannot be established there because of the highway, because of the pipeline through this property, because of the port, the cement plant, those kind of things will keep this from ever being developed at that point. So what we did was establish a conservation easement around this use, and that conservation easement will remain vacant forever at that point. The little square rectangle in the middle of this property is the site plan that they asked me to give them. That's the area of the parking that will be established. And so, and I'm down to 15 seconds, and this is the most I can put into this at that point. But after the Planning Commission took the time to review all these issues and this case, to recognize that this is the pipeline through the middle of the property, as at a minimum, it's a 100-foot wide easement. It has to be negotiated down. It could be larger than that because the pipeline says it's plural. This is an established truck yard on the property, pre-existing to its annexation. And so that exists, and that's where we're going to establish, where we want to establish the Board of Adjustment special exception application only. You cannot see it from Hancock Street.
Mr. Bell, your time is up. I'm sorry. I have Mr. Reynolds that wants to speak on this agenda item as well.
Did you have questions you wanted to ask this gentleman? Dan?
I have some questions
Hang on
for
one
this
second.
gentleman. Step back up there, sir. When you applied for this, did you say that it was gonna be a salvage yard?
No,
Are you in business currently doing the same thing?
so I am a land use planner.
Okay,
My address is 101 East Aquarium Place in Jinx, Oklahoma. The Mainline Freight, who is the owner of this property, also is associated with Baker Recovery. And Baker Recovery has and I have several of their sites here on my PowerPoint. If you want to look at those, you can. And they are in existence, and they actually have a business already in Muskogee. They need to move.
so you're not the landowner?
That is correct.
Okay, are they here tonight?
They are.
Okay. Are we gonna hear from?
So they got here at 20 minutes after the hour. They picked the sign-in sheet up at 15 minutes after the hour. Mr. Baker and his attorney were not able to write down
Okay.
their name. And
The reason I ask, and we've only got 5 minutes here, the reason I ask is I received plenty of phone calls about this, and it's my understanding that the same type of business that you're proposing to put there on Hancock is already in place on Highway 69. So I've heard that there's concerns about coming into the city limits, and if I'm correct, and you can correct me if I'm not, that they're going to do the same thing. They just want to move from their location on 69 to Hancock.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I was hoping to speak with the owner, but that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Mr. Reynolds?
If you'll state your name, please.
Alex Reynolds, 3900 East Hancock. I am the adjoining property owner, and I would come and ask you to not change the zoning on this property. This is one of very, very few historic homes that sits outside of the inner city and is protected by property values of the surrounding homes in the area. It's also next to the Three Rivers Indian Clinic. I know that as a Cherokee citizen that the Cherokees plan to build more along that corridor there. We already have a record yard just up the road from there where Morgan's is that could possibly be available at some time for someone. Love to welcome any new businesses to town. I would just like to see something like this outside of the city limits. This would greatly affect our property values of the surrounding homes. And speaking to the other property owners, they feel the same way that I do. I can't reiterate enough that we have some wonderful historic homes in Muskogee. They're difficult to buy and remodel because of the property values. The surrounding area limits you on what you can go in and do to a home because of the value after you've put several $100,000 into it. Unfortunately, it's not there in the inner city. I'd be glad to answer any questions. I'd like for you guys to go out there by that area. Our home in question, Amy and I bought it to secure the property and make sure that we were protected in our property values there. And this is something that I would ask you guys to please not change from agriculture. Be glad to answer any questions if anyone has any. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have that wants to speak on this item. I asked to close the agenda item for hearing. Roll call, please. Oh, we need,
Discussion?
I got to need a motion, don't I?
You need
Yeah,
discussion first.
Oh, do I have anybody who wants to speak on this?
I do. Like I said, I received several phone calls on this agenda item. And quite frankly, it raises some red flags for me as well, after reading it. I'm going to ask that we table this item until we can hear from the owners and hear both sides. I don't want to make a, if we can.
This will go before council in
Again?
2 weeks. Yes, so this is just
So they can,
committee.
they'll have an opportunity to come back
Yes,
to it.
I
Okay.
spoke with the gentleman to let him know that.
Okay. Didn't catch that part. So if you would, please come back and speak in 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'd like to hear from you folks and before we make a decision on this matter.
Yeah, you'll still have to take action. You're going to have to take action on this,
Okay.
but you don't want to table it because it's going to go before
Do
council
I have a
again.
motion? Okay, so on this deny, yes, on the denying that you're denying it, that we're denying the change in the code. If you vote no, you're voting yes. Does that make sense?
Are we going to vote?
No.
Or if we're tabling it, we
That's-
won't vote?
But you don't need to table it because it's going to go before council again.
Yeah, I wasn't clear on that part.
This is
Oh,
not,
so we
this is
can go ahead and
committee.
vote.
This is just committee, so council will have to hear this again at the council meeting. That's why you don't need to table it, and then Carrie can explain
Oh,
that.
okay.
The
So-
agenda item is to deny it. So if you vote yes, you're denying them to change the
Zone.
the zoning. Sorry, guys. And if you vote no, then you're voting not to
To
allow them
deny.
to change it.
No, no,
No.
no, that is not correct.
So
See?
the way the agenda item is written, the appropriate motion would be moved to deny the ordinance. If you vote yes, then you are voting to deny the ordinance. If you vote no, you are voting to not deny, but you are not voting to pass the ordinance.
Okay. So
A no is more like a no action.
are we going to vote right now? Are we
Well,
going to vote?
we need a motion if we're going to vote
I make a motion
to,
to approve to deny.
so just the motion to deny the ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. The motion on the table is to deny the ordinance.
Second?
Okay.
You have a second?
Oh, did you second, or did you ask for a second?
I'm asking for a
Oh, I'm
second.
sorry.
I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Everybody's clear on the vote? Okay. Jeremy Schuler,
No.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
No.
I'll let you figure that one out. You got 5 of 9. 1, 2, oh, 4, I'm sorry. So it does not.
So then does it
Okay.
come
It'll come back to council.
back to
in 2
council?
weeks.
Yes, so the item fails, so we're not denying it, so it will go before council again for the same thing.
All right. Agenda item 5.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4312A, an ordinance of the City of Muskogee, amending the Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 74, Taxation, Article 8, Use Tax, Section 74-237, Economic Development Fund, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Thank you, council. This amendment to this ordinance was done in conjunction with our Assistant City Manager and Economic Development Manager, Ms. Tara Shows. So she's going to speak to the reason for that, and then I can answer any questions.
Thank you. You will have a copy of this ordinance in your packet, and if you will look at item 1 on the ordinance, we are asking to add the phrasing for projects that generate sales tax revenue to item 1. This will create an opportunity to support a broader range of local and small businesses with expenses that would not otherwise qualify for Opportunity Fund assistance. We are frequently approached by small businesses seeking financial support. However, under the current ordinances, we are not eligible to help most of them because they do not meet the definition of high-impact job creators. This amendment would provide businesses that generate sales tax revenue with a pathway to apply for funding, expanding access while continuing to support economic development and local business growth. As a reminder, all applications for the Economic Development Opportunity Fund go before the Economic Development Advisory Committee for recommendation before final approval by the City Council. Staff does recommend approval of this change to the current ordinance, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I would remind council, this is the first reading of the amendment to this ordinance, so it will be on the agenda for the 22nd for reading number 2 for final approval.
Any questions? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Number 6. Oh, item passes. Number 6.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4299A, an ordinance of the City of Muskogee, amending the Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 22, Business Regulations, Article 13, Wrecker and Towing Service, Section 22-586, Procedure for Determining Wrecker Service to be Called, amending paragraph 22-586A, adding paragraph 22-586B, establishing time requirements for responding to scene, adding paragraph 22-586C, keeping rotation spot when performing non-reimbursable pickups, and adding paragraph 22-586D, requiring state certified services to be called to hazardous material spills, adding repealer severability and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Yes, thank you, council. So we held a meeting here at City Hall with the wrecker service owners, the police department, the fire department, our Office of Emergency Management. I believe Council Schuler was there, city manager was there, and heard from everyone in the room for how to best approach updating our wrecker ordinances so that there was plenty of clarification. Everybody understood what was expected, how wrecker services get on the rotation list to make it fair for everyone across the board. This is the first in a series of ordinances that we are going to read tonight for the first time following that meeting. As mentioned in this particular ordinance 4299A, this deals with section 22586 of our ordinances. Again, enhances the language showing that both the Muskogee Police Department and the Fire Department can actually call dispatch to have a wrecker service come to the scene, provides for time limits for wrecker services getting to the scene. We've been having some issues with our police officers being at the scene of incidents and accidents for an extended period of time and needing to have response to be faster so that we can get the scenes cleared and our officers can get back out away from those incidences and accidents to other calls. I'm happy to answer any questions. Staff does recommend approval.
I have one person signed up to speak on this agenda item. Mr. Cooper? Mr. Cooper, you'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Ryan Cooper with D's Wrecker Service at 4430 Chandler Road. I would first like to say thank you for the opportunity for the city to meet with the industry to hear our input on these ordinances. But on this particular ordinance, I would like to request a change in language in paragraph B. The middle of the paragraph where it says, and cannot coordinate another service to arrive to the scene in that time frame. I would recommend that that language right there be stricken and removed from the ordinance. That the reason is that if dispatch requests a wrecker service to respond to the scene. That wrecker service that's been requested by dispatch shouldn't have the ability, if they're not available, to call another wrecker service to respond on their behalf. What that's going to do is that's going to cause an extreme amount of confusion first with 911 dispatch, who has to maintain the log on where these vehicles that's been impounded by the city's been taken to in storage. If they dispatch out a particular wrecker service A to respond to that, and that wrecker service calls wrecker service C to actually respond on their behalf, then that brings into question, where does the vehicle being taken to, where is it stored? When the owner of that vehicle, again, calls the city and asks, where has my vehicle been taken to, they're going to go off where dispatch has it logged on where the vehicle is taken to. If that vehicle is not taken to that particular location, it would cause an extreme amount of confusion there. Also, it does not provide in our state regulation and rules that a wrecker service has the ability to contact and have another wrecker company respond on their behalf. Although we do appreciate the ability to be able to call for mutual aid of another wrecker service if we do respond to these instances and find that there is need for additional equipment. But I would just ask that that particular phrase in the middle of that paragraph be removed. Thank you.
Ms. Spencer, I wasn't in that meeting. Can you clarify what Mr. Jones was speaking?
Mr. Cook, I was in the meeting, and basically what it boils down to is if you have Wrecker Company A being called out and Wrecker A is busy and he's buddies with Wrecker Company B, B can go pick it up on A's behalf because it's a buddy system, honor system. Nobody loses their rotation as far as their next in line to pick up. And it's just helping your fellow Wrecker Company out. It's really, they said it's been going on forever. I assume it has. Most of this change in the ordinance is just to clean up the language from 1993. And it's, everyone pretty much was in agreement in that meeting except for Mr. Cooper on this particular aspect.
So I was kind of misunderstanding what he was saying a little bit, because he said if they would know where the record was if that was a call out. But what happens if that other record that y'all call out to be your buddy that comes and picks up your call damages the car or something like that? Say it's just a tow-in and it's the damage of the car, then who's responsible?
Well, that's another great example of why that particular cause needs to be removed. If dispatch requests a certain wrecker company, the next one on the list, if that company does not have a wrecker or service immediately available to respond to that service request, they should notify and let dispatch know at that time that we're not available so they can move to the next wrecker service on the rotation list. Not be able to take it upon themselves after they receive the request from dispatch and knowing they don't have a record to dispatch out, call another record company to go pick it up on their behalf. Because yes,
You don't want that to happen.
no, I do not want that.
You want dispatch to call the next wrecker out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if the initial wrecker service does not have a wrecker to initially respond to that in a reasonable time,
Next one on rotation.
then the next one on rotation should be the one charge. It shouldn't be up to that wrecker service who received the first request to take it upon themselves to dispatch out their buddy to go pick it up for them, because again, that's going to bring into question, where did the car go? You know, where is it stored? Who is responsible if there is damage to the vehicle? Because again, the city is impounding these vehicles. We are transporting and storing them on behalf of the city.
See, and that's where we're kind of different, because that's the way I read it. I read it that it's the next rotation, and that way our officers aren't stuck on the street waiting for the one call in. I may have misread it myself.
Yes, well, and again, my interpretation that this would allow that if the initial wrecker company, after receiving the request, if they don't have a truck immediately available, they are open to call their buddy to go respond to that on their behalf.
See, I
And
thought
I
it
don't
was the
feel
other way around.
that should be the way that it is, that if they don't have a record immediately available for that response, then it should go to the next
Rotation.
written rule. And really, that is the fairest procedure of all companies involved.
See, and that's the way I thought I read it. Is that the way it's written, or is it, can you call your buddy?
So, as I understood the discussion in the meeting, that it was not unusual and hasn't been unusual for years, that if a wrecker service gets called and maybe it's a service that only has one truck and he's on the side of the road with something else and he's the next one up on rotation and can't get there, then he makes a call and gets somebody else out there on his behalf that he knows can get there in that period of time. And if that person can't get there, that he's called to coordinate on his behalf, and he notifies the 911 center and says, you're gonna have to call the next wrecker on the
It sounds like
rotation.
that could be causing a boat, because what if the next person, his buddy, can't do it? Seems like it
It's
would,
time consuming for our officers to be stuck out there.
Right.
Which is, and I think it should go to the next rotation. And that's what I thought it was going to be, unless they need assistance from another trucker, call another truck in to help them pull them apart or something like that. I understand that part. I thought, when I read it, I thought it actually said that it goes to the next rotation. Am I wrong, Johnny?
You are.
Okay. That's why I called you up here.
Yeah, the process that Kerry explained has been, I know for 39 years we've been doing this. My understanding from way back is this is a way that it helps the small mom and pop wrecker services. Because you do have wreckers over the years that have one wrecker available, where they're on a call for something else, it gives them the ability to say, hey, can you go pick this up for me? And they work it out down the road. So it's a way to help, in my opinion, it's the way helping.
so it's worked out great all these years.
It's been working for 39 years. It doesn't affect us on time because that time starts period right now. Whatever that time period is, it's usually 15 or 20 minutes. That time period starts right now, whether they have to call 5 buddies to get that done.
Okay.
The time starts right then, but it's a way that over the years has helped small record companies be able to take that, not miss that rotation because they don't come up very often. They are able to use that rotation, and then they work it among themselves, and we've never had an issue with it in my 39 plus years.
And another thing that came out of it too is if Wrecker B picks it up for Wrecker A, Wrecker B takes it to Wrecker A's yard.
Yeah, I forgot that part of it. The responsibility for whatever liabilities are is that person.
Stays with that first company.
That's exactly right.
Mr. Schuler, how many other record services were in there?
There were 5, I think, total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5, and then Mr. Inhofe Center was there.
And everybody else was in agreement? Okay, thank you.
Can I add one thing, sir? Do I have time? This practice is not allowed with DPS and the Highway Patrol, who puts forward our regulations and requirements on a statewide level. This practice of being able to call another wrecker service to respond on your behalf is not permitted on that side.
Okay. Have you looked at that, Ms. Spencer?
I don't have a copy of what he's referring to.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Agenda item passes. Moving on to number 7.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4300A, an ordinance of the City of Muskogee, amending the Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 22, Business Regulations, Article 13, Wrecker and Towing Service, Section 22-585, Dispatching wrecker to scene of accident or incident prohibited without being called, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Thank you, council. This is the second in this series of record ordinances. Again, these were discussed in the meeting that we were just talking about with all of the record services. This one specifies yet again that you have to have a permit and you have to be called by 911 or coordinated with a record service to come to the scene. That Muskogee Police Department or its designee, the fire department or its designee, or the owner of the vehicle, if they have a record preference that they request, will be who is calling 911 to come. Again, if they do not have the equipment that they need, then they are able to coordinate with another record service or notify the original dispatching entity so that the next record service in the rotation can be dispatched. Staff does recommend approval.
Move for approval.
I got one person needing to speak. Mr. Cooper? Again, my name is Ryan Cooper with D's Record Service at 4430 Chandler Road. I would just, again, make the same request as I did in the last ordinance, that in the opening paragraph, that the language be removed that would allow a record company to dispatch another record company to respond on their behalf. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I move for approval.
I have a motion to approve. Got a second?
Second.
Got a second? Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
That item passes. Number 8.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4301A, an ordinance of the City of Muskogee, amending the Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 22, Business Regulations, Article 13, Wrecker and Towing Service, Section 22-583, Application for Wrecker Permit, Inspection, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Thank you. Council, this ordinance updates the process for wrecker services to get a permit to operate within the City of Muskogee. We were having an issue with there being wrecker services put on the rotation list that had not gone through the Office of the City Clerk to get a legal permit to operate in the city. So this clarifies again that that is required of a wrecker service operating within the city limits of the City of Muskogee to have a permit issued by the clerk's office. It also requires what is in the application. Would note that the language says that our application form language will include but not be limited to, that the chief of police then does all of the approvals for those wrecker services going on the rotation and to receive a permit. The language also goes into some detail just for clarification purposes what types of wreckers there are, what types of wrecker services there are in town, and how they are listed on the rotation, again, purely for clarification purposes so that everyone knows which wrecker services are available to do which types of pickups, whether that's evidence wrecker, livestock hauling services, etc. Staff does recommend approval.
I have one gentleman he reviewed. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Have a motion second.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Agenda item number 9.
Motion passes.
I'm sorry. Carrie Spencer?
No. I need to read it first, but motion passes on number 8. Consider approval of ordinance number 4304A, an ordinance of the City of Muskogee, amending the Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 22, Business Regulations, Article 13, Wrecker and Towing Service, Section 22-582, Definitions, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Okay. Ms. Spencer?
Thank you, Council. This is a very short amendment. It simply adds in that the fire department is an agency besides the police department who might also be at the scene of an accident or incident and need to call 911 and authorize the dispatch of a wrecker service to that incident or accident. The staff does recommend approval.
Entertain a motion or second. Anybody have discussion?
I move for approval.
Second.
Got first a motion to approve and second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Item passes. Number 10.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4306A, an ordinance amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 14, Animals, Article 2, Animal Regulations, Section 14-27, Proceedings Against Vicious or Dangerous Animals, Hearing, Impoundment, adding repealer severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Carrie? Ms.
Thank-
Fincher, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Thank you, council. This is the first reading of this ordinance. And again, it will be on the agenda for second reading and final approval on June 22nd. This amendment was made at the request of Municipal Judge John Tyler Hammonds. It clarifies the process. Currently, with regard to vicious or dangerous animals, we have an administrative hearing with an administrative officer who hears evidence, witness testimonies, sees pictures, all of those things, and makes a decision whether or not to designate an animal as vicious that has to be removed from the city of Muskogee city limits. The defendants in those cases do have the opportunity to appeal that to municipal court in front of Judge Hammonds, and this amendment simply clarifies the procedure for which those amendments happen, what the judge can look at and possibly take into consideration when he hears the appeal from the administrative vicious or dangerous animal hearing. Staff does recommend approval.
Open for discussion or motion?
No, you have a citizen.
A citizen signed up to speak.
Counselor Hall, if I may, you had a citizen who had signed up to speak on this particular agenda item. However, what the citizen wrote down that she wanted to speak about does not have anything to do with this ordinance and the agenda item as written. And under parliamentary procedure, she would not then be allowed to speak, as she asked, to item number 10.
Okay. Yeah, Ms. Grounds, because of what you wrote down, you're not going to be able to speak on this agenda item.
Well, it's actually part of the procedure, so that's a definition and that's a misunderstanding. Even though it's a court case, and I'm aware of the court case as well.
I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
The item passes. Number 11.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4307A, an ordinance amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinance by amending Chapter 54, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, Article 5, Offenses Against the Public, Division 2, Prohibited Acts, Section 54-205, Marijuana Prohibited, adding repealer, severability, and declaring an emergency, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Fincher?
Yes, thank you, council. On November 1st, 2025, the legislative updates in the state statutes were amended to include the prohibition against the possession of an open container of marijuana in the passenger compartment of a car. Also included the prohibition of drivers or passengers consuming marijuana products while operating a motor vehicle on public highways, streets, or alleys. Our officers are aware of this and have already been writing citations for these infractions. The staff does recommend approval, and we will need to declare an emergency on June 22nd to pass this ordinance because the state law took effect on November 1st, 2025.
So I entertain a motion.
So moved.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to make an emergency.
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
And a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Item passes. Agenda item 12.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4288A, an ordinance amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 34 Court, Article 2 Procedure, adding Section 34-58, Payment of Jail Costs of Incarceration, Section 34-59, Debt of Defendant, Section 3460, Reduction in Cost of Incarceration, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Thank you. Pursuant to state law Title 22, Section 979A, the cost of incarceration shall be a debt of an inmate owed to the municipality, county, or other public entity responsible for the operation of the jail, and may be collected as provided by law as we collect any other civil debt or criminal penalty. The City of Muskogee currently pays a daily fee to the Muskogee County Jail for each inmate incarcerated on city charges. This ordinance allows for the city to collect those fees so that we can continue to pay the county as we are required. This ordinance as written simply mirrors state statute and brings us into compliance. Staff does recommend approval.
Discussion? Motion?
Yeah, I have a quick question. How much do we pay today?
Right now, I believe it's $54.95, just under $55 annually. Under the law, the county is to do an audit and make any adjustments based on what it costs to actually house each individual inmate, and then report to the state what their new fees are. And the way this is written, we would adjust hours, however, whatever we are charged daily.
Okay, thank you.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler?
Yes.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe?
Yes.
Passes. Agenda item number 13.
Consider approval of resolution number 3071, amending Appendix A, fee schedule pertaining to payment of jail fees, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer?
Thank you. This is the companion resolution to the ordinance we just discussed, and you'll notice in your packet on Exhibit A, this is what it would look like actually on the City of Muskogee ordinances. Shows that we would charge not less than $50 per day, up to a daily rate as set annually by the Muskogee County Sheriff. It is written that way so that annually we do not have to have a new resolution that passes, but allows us to adjust the fees that we charge based on what the Muskogee County Sheriff's Office is charging the city daily to house inmates. Staff does recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler?
Yes.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe?
Yes.
Item passes. Number 14, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3100, declaring certain real property in the possession of the City of Muskogee, more particularly described as 608 Dayton Street, to be surplus to the needs of the city, and authorize the city manager or his designee to dispose of said property or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. The inquiry to surplus the property was made by the adjacent property owner to this one on July 26th of '24. The property abuts his current property to the west. It's currently zoned R2, two-family residential, and is 4,978 square feet, with the lot being approximately 48 feet wide and 103 feet deep. It does not meet the requirements of a buildable lot size. However, what the owner is wanting to do is use this for lot expansion. So he would have to consolidate that if he wanted to build anything else on it. This lot was less than 7,200 square feet though, and the applicant is the adjoining property owner, and because of that, this property did not have to be posted for the 10 days, and the listing did not have to be published on the city website or the government access channel, and a sealed bid process was not required for this. The planning department analysis, like I said, it is R2 two-family residential zoned. We do recommend approval on this to surplus it to the adjoining property owner.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion for approval is second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler?
Yes.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe?
Yes.
Item passes. Number 15, please.
Consider approval of Resolution Number 3101, declaring certain real property in the possession of the City of Muskogee, more particularly described as Muskogee Original Town Site, Lot 3, Block 252, Trumbo Subdivision, Lots 1 through 4, to be surplus to the needs of the city, and authorize the city manager or his designee to dispose of said property or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle.
Thank you. So the inquiry on this one was made by the adjacent property owner of 616 North 7th Street, April 15th of 26. The property abuts his current property to the south, and it's currently zoned R2 two-family residential. This property is 11,074 square feet, and so given that lot size, we have a different set of stipulations that we have to follow. So this was posted for 10 days. With picture documentation, as well as posted on the city website and the government access channel. And then we opened it up for bid to anybody else that wanted to bid on this property as well. These steps were completed, and we ended up with 2 sealed bids on this property. The applicant, however, was not the winning bid. So this property's lot size is buildable. However, the width of the property, only being 49 feet wide, makes it not a buildable lot. So the winning bid, if they do want to develop on this or consolidate it, they would have to consolidate it to build on it, so that it would come into compliance with what the city requires. The winning bid was Miss Arma Redo, and she is actually the owner of the opposite adjoining property on the other side to the south, so they would be able to consolidate for development. We do recommend approval on this, and I can answer any questions that you might have.
Got a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Item passes. Number 16.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to amend the Muskogee Water System Maintenance Contract and Street Repair Contract between the City of Muskogee and Cook Consulting, LLC, by increasing the not-to-exceed limit from $575,000 to $635,000 for the remainder of fiscal year 2025, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Yes, so this is our emergency water contract with Cook Construction. This goes out to bid. I think it's every 3 years with a 2-year renewal, so we just went back out for rebid on it. We put this in place initially because we were having problems keeping our staff where they were under the Department of Labor working hours, so we were having them out all night, then we weren't having them here during the day, so we put in something for after hours, weekends, things like that. So a not to exceed is, it's intended not to be a cap, but to be a check-in point with the council. So when we have a not to exceed, we set that number at somewhere where we think we should be around the end of the year, so we can come in and say, this is where we're at, we need to go up, or we stay under it. So what we do with this contract is just what I explained. We use it for after hours or emergency leaks, for things that are bigger than what we can handle or deeper than what we have equipment to dig. We also use it for our fire hydrant repairs, because those fire hydrant repairs, as soon as we have one out of service, we try and stay on them, get them done as quickly as possible. With that being said, this contract has helped us get to a 90% good on our fire hydrants. We have 2,600 approximately in town, with 97% of them being functional. That's not where we were before we started this contract. So that's been a big improvement. This contract has also helped us get 126 leaks fixed. That comes out to about an average of $4,000 per leak, but that's not an accurate reflection of how much a leak costs. For example, this year, earlier on in the fiscal year in the fall, we had a leak that totaled up, because of the size of the pipe and the location of it, to be nearly $100,000, which puts a pretty big dent in your $500,000 contract. So managing out the rest of the year, we cut back, tried to conserve to stay under that not to exceed, but we've gotten to the point where it's more responsible of us to ask for that to come up, so we can make it through the year if we have any issues, and we can make sure we get our bills paid. With that being said, in that time, our crew has completed over 550 work orders in conjunction with Cook's 126 leaks fixed, and then however many fire hydrants they got fixed. I didn't get that number for you before this meeting. With that being said, we do recommend approval for the raise of the not to exceed, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, and I just want to say something, because when I was on here 6 years ago, we had all kinds of fire hydrants out of commission. We had a lot of leaks that people kept calling us about. And I'm glad to see that we've got a program and a plan in place that we can get some of these things taken care of. I appreciate y'all for the job y'all are doing.
Thank you.
Mr. Wrigley, I got one question.
Yes.
On like the water leaks, and I'll use Country Club and Chandler, right there on that corner. It's had problems multiple times. When we contract that out and it's repaired, and then it starts another leak within 2 weeks or a week, who pays for that secondary repair or third repair? It's been dug up half dozen to 10 times.
That's a great question. So that's a particularly tough example to use that on, because we had a leak there, fixed it, then had a leak on the other side of the vault. So it's in the same spot. But if we have a leak and the repair itself fails, that's come back and fixed free of charge. One big problem that we have with the aging water system is when you go in and fix a water line, that water is going to find the next weakest spot in the line. So it appears that we have leaks going back that we're fixing more than once. In reality, we're fixing the same section of line, and we're trying to get away from that by doing 20-foot, 40-foot of pipe replacement, but we also have to watch our budget. So.
Understood, thank you.
And that particular deal, I'm going to kind of defend them a little bit. On that particular...
I wasn't on him.
But they got a lot of heat for that water leak for a long time, and we had to special order some parts out of there, like some valves and stuff. We had to have them specially shipped out of Texas or somewhere. Someplace had to specially come up, measure everything and build it, and then it popped over a few feet from it. So they were really trying to stay ahead of it. And so
A lot of the money that comes out of this contract, a lot of it is for the labor and the material, or the labor and the equipment, but a big portion of it is for specialty parts, like what you're talking about. When you start working on a 24-inch water line, you can't just go down to Lowe's and buy parts for it. So it's custom ordered through that contract.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes. Item passes. Next one.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to amend the catch basin replacement project between the City of Muskogee and Cook Consulting LLC by increasing the not-to-exceed limit from $200,000 to $260,000 for the remainder of fiscal year 2025-2026, or take other necessary action.
Yes, thank you. So once again, with the not to exceed, same principle, just a check-in point, but this is a little bit different. This is a project, not an emergency repair contract. So this project was put together for the city to go out, get a contractor to start working on these old-style catch basins that we have, which you can see in the picture. If you look on the very far left side, you'll see what we call an old-style catch basin, which is basically just a manhole set in the ground with a flat iron lid on top of it. So back in the day when they built these neighborhoods and they had small cars and all those things, this was a pretty decent way to do it. But now that we've got bigger vehicles, school buses, a lot more traffic on these roads, those were continually getting hit and knocked off kilter, I should say, and then they would get wedged down in the hole and plug that hole up, and then somebody's just got this hole in their yard until they call us and we go out and get it. We have to take equipment out there and set that lid back on there, and usually it gets knocked off again within the next month. So back in the day it was a good system, but it's really not built for today's time. So what we did was get this contract in place, or get this project in place rather, and some of these we just go in and put the new style grate and frame on, and some of them we get in there and we have to go in and rebuild the box entirely. So with this, so far we've done 43 repairs. Usually there's at least 2 at an intersection, sometimes 4. This project has been predominantly focused to the majority of these old style catch basins, which are in the northeast part of town, kind of from East Side Boulevard to Old Shawnee, from York to Gibson is the main area we've been focused on. Of these 43 that we've done, 23 have been a complete box rebuild, and 20 have been just grate and frame replacements. So the box rebuilds, that combats sinkhole issues, and it combats your catch basins from filling up with dirt and sediment seeping into them. Usually these were made out of brick back when they were constructed, so you got one missing brick, it starts pulling sediment and dirt into that catch basin, it gets in the pipe, starts causing storm drain issues, and you have a neighborhood that may flood or experience worse flooding than normal because of the damage to the box. So this has been very successful. If you drive around in the northeast part of town, you can see what we've done. We just want to raise that not to exceed up, keep the momentum going, and carry us into next fiscal year when we intend to do about 40 more. Happy to answer questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Item passes. Number 18.
Consider approval of the appointment of Counselor Dan Hall, replacing Counselor Jamie Stout, to the Economic Development Advisory Committee, or take other necessary action.
This is my agenda item. Councilor Hall approached me when this became open and expressed his desire to be on this committee. As you guys are well aware, he's retiring and he wants something to do, and he wants to be on that committee and be a part of economic development here in Muskogee, and he's very passionate about our city. I think he'd be a great addition. I recommend approval.
I second it.
Roll call, please. Motion and second. Roll call.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes.
Item passes. I have two people wanting to speak. Pat Casilla. Huh?
Cassica.
Good evening, City Council and staff. My name is Patricia Capsica, and I want to make some comments pertaining to emergency preparedness. I got some questions answered tonight. Some of the things you guys are doing are catching us up, more modern, up-to-date precautions. But I want to address some comments made by a few women back when we had the tornado, the storm, and the debris and everything that had to be picked up. There was also concerns over the data centers that are coming in, how it's polluting. It's taking up a lot of resources like the water, electricity. And of course, we know that that affects our environment. So I'm all for quality of life. I want to feel safe in my city. And I do feel relatively safe here. But I want to go a little bit further in saying what I feel like needs to change or consider. Today I learned a new term called agro-terrorism. It is actually, it was sent to me by a friend. It is the introduction of an animal or plant that interrupts the food supply, generating widespread public panic. We know in emergencies people do tend to panic, so we can only be prepared as best that we can. Would the city of Muskogee be able to feed this city if our food sources were knocked out by something like this, or gas prices went up higher and you can't get semi-trucks in to load up the grocery stores? So what I'm requesting is that we leave more of our land for agricultural purposes, not only to feed ourselves, but also to feed our cattle. We can't even hardly buy steak anymore. You get a little 4-ounce piece of steak for like $22. And so that is something that impacts everybody, their quality of life. They want to cook out, they want to have recreational time with their families. I have some resources that you may not know about, but anyway, I've got 30 seconds to do them. House Bill 2992, the Data Center Consumer Rate Protection Plan Act of this year, is going to curtail a lot of the data centers. Senate Bill 2159, wheat is officially the state crop of Oklahoma. I think we need to grow wheat and grass and hay. The big four U.S. meat packers have consolidated. 2 are from Brazil, and one is Tyson Chicken, and the other one is Cargill. They control 85% of the meat market. We need to get the foreigners out and bring our own meat back.
Your time is up, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. I got all my stuff done. But anyway, I just, I think we need to keep our land for agriculture.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Van? You have 3 minutes, sir.
Do I know that? I invented that clock. It ought to have my name on it. Albert Van. Reason I'm up here tonight, thank you, Tara. Thank you, Councilman Hall, for talking to me about this issue. We have a main bad issue downstairs. When I left council in 22, we had security. Real security. Not a young lady that I know as a child down there right now. Somebody can come through there and shoot her and take her little badge and how you get in. It's just that simple. You go anywhere in Muskogee here, federal courthouse, VA, county, courthouse, anywhere. When I went to the National League of Cities as a councilman, I went to every city hall there was that I went to that city. You don't see no mess like y'all have here. They had guards. They had metal detectors. That's another thing. I was proud when I left the council that I finally got somebody down there with a gun. Now we don't have nobody down there with a gun, but they're in training, and that's good. But I'm gonna see how long it's gonna take to get somebody down there with a gun, because when you go over to the county, you got to go through that metal detector. Just like tonight, I come through. I could have come through there with a gun on me, buzz right in, come right on up here, and that's it. With a machine gun, anything. I could be home right now enjoying getting ready to watch the game, enjoying it. But I'm up here because I want y'all to be safe. I want the employees to be safe. So that's the only reason I'm here. And another thing is, I called some of the councilmen. Oh, they don't return my call. So that's fine. I guess they do the constituents the same way. But I didn't. But so I just want y'all to get some light on that. If y'all do get security terror with a gun, get a metal detector or a wand, just like regular professional cities have. Even like I say, the county. That's a prime example. Go over to the county. Deputy Lane don't let you in there unless you go through that metal detector or wand you down. That right there is what I call rigging. When you don't have a deputy down there or a police officer or a security person, if y'all got a security team that's not doing their job, get rid of them. Because a lot of things here in the city hired people that didn't do their job. I was up here 8.5 years, I know. And I cried about it then. But like I say, I'm just glad that when I left, it was somebody with a gun. And I believe you, Tara, when you told me the other day that you work this problem out. And city manager, I called you too. You never did return my call. That tells me a lot. That told me a lot. But you know what? When you show me who you are the first time, I believe you. You don't have to show me again. But thank you for take everything I said into consideration. Get some safety up here so to make this building safe and where nobody can come in here. And people are crazy nowadays. They will kill you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. That is all I have tonight.
Okay, we'll now call to order the special call Muskogee Municipal Authority meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Mike Brawley.
Here.
Jeremy Schuler.
Here.
Item 1, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3097, adopting the Muskogee Municipal Authority budget for fiscal year 2026-2027, establishing budget amendment authority, or take other necessary action.
Any discussion? Oh, Mr. Reed, go ahead.
Yes, as discussed earlier in the public hearing, I provided the public and the council with the balanced budget book, and council or staff does recommend approval.
Any discussion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler,
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes. Motion passes. This meeting is now adjourned. We will now call to order the special call Muskogee Redevelopment Authority meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Here.
Dan Hall,
Here.
Tom Martindale,
Here.
Mike Brawley,
Here.
Jeremy Schuler.
Item 1, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3099, adopting the Muskogee Redevelopment Authority budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027, establishing budget amendment authority, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reed.
As discussed earlier in the public hearing, I have provided a balanced budget, and staff does recommend approval.
Move for approval.
I second it.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler,
Yes.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. We will now call to order the special call Muskogee City Council. Oh, that's good. We now call to order the special call Muskogee Parking Authority. Roll call.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Mike Brawley.
Here.
Jeremy Schuler.
Here.
Item 1, please.
Consider approval of Muskogee Parking Authority minutes of September 8th, 2025, or take other necessary action.
I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, motion passes. Item 2, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3098, adopting the Muskogee Parking Authority budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027, establishing budget amendment authority, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reed.
Yes, as discussed earlier in the public hearing, I have provided a balanced budget, and staff does recommend approval.
Any discussion?
I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, motion passes. This meeting is now adjourned. We will now call to order the special call Muskogee City Council. Roll call, please.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Mike Brawley.
Here.
Jeremy Schuler.
Item 1, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3096, approving the City of Muskogee budget for the fiscal year 2026, 2027, establishing budget amendment authority, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reed.
Yes, as discussed earlier in the public hearing, I have provided a balanced budget, and staff does recommend approval.
I move for approval.
Second.
I do have one citizen signed up to speak, Miss Nina Ground.
Did she?
Miss Nina Ground.
She left. Good.
I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
I second it.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes, motion passes. Item 2, please.
Consider approval of resolution number 3095, a resolution concurring and agreeing with the Board of Trustees of the Muskogee Tourism Authority, a public trust, to dissolve the public trust and return the tourism funds and assets to the City of Muskogee, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Spencer.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. You will find in your background materials the timeline for the trust when it was created and all the way up to dissolution. The Roxy Theater Community Trust created on March 26, 2018. By resolution in October of 2020, the City of Muskogee created the Tourism Advisory Committee through the trust. On May 15, 2025, the trustees unanimously voted to return the Roxy Theater to the City of Muskogee and to dissolve the management agreement with Oxford Productions. On June 26th of 2025, a majority of the trustees voted to consider the discontinuation of Visit Muskogee Film Festival and Roxy Theater programs and operations for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and provide notice of that to the city. On July 25th, 2025, the trustees unanimously voted to execute a dissolution agreement with Oxford Productions and to disperse IT assets, fixtures, and promotional materials to the City of Muskogee, Three Rivers Museum, and the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. On May 15th, 2026, the trustees held a vote to terminate the trust pursuant to the trust indenture, to wind up the affairs of the trust, and to transfer the remainder of trust funds and assets to the City of Muskogee. In your packet, you will see that resolution that was passed by the Tourism Advisory Committee, where they resolved to dissolve and return those assets and liquid capital to the city. The city now has 90 days to concur and agree to that dissolution and receive the remainder of any trust funds and assets back to the city. Our resolution number 3095 is that concurrence and agreement to the dissolution. Staff does recommend approval. I can answer any questions.
Move for approval. Any discussion? I do have one citizen that signed up to speak, Mr. Max Boydston. If you would come on up, state your name, and you'll have 5 minutes, sir.
My name is Max Boydston. I'm here to visit about tourism again. First, I want everyone to know that I have no problems with anybody on this city council. The present council, mayor, city manager, staff have been doing a good job trying to get some of these issues resolved on tourism. The problem I do want to address started about 5 or 6 years ago against the advice and wishes of several citizens who had also been engaged in the growth of tourism for the previous 10 plus years. A little history might help. I grew up in Muskogee County, moved after beginning a banking career, and each of the cities I moved to, my community involvement was usually tourism. In 2 of these places, tourism was literally their number 1 or number 2 industry, and that was Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and Killeen, Texas, followed by Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Fast forward to 1998, when I moved back to Muskogee, I continued in banking and became involved in Muskogee's tourism. The lodging tax was increased from 3% to 8% in 2011. By 2020, the revenue, which is earmarked to market and promote tourism, was obviously going to be generating near $1 million per year and more in the future. And I think we're over $1 million or approaching it this year already. The Chamber of Commerce had contracted with the City of Muskogee and had been good stewards of the funds while growing tourism in Muskogee for over 12 years. In 2020, Avery Fricks, also known as Oxford Productions, challenged the Chamber by saying the personnel and administrative fees were too high at 32 to 36%. Even though the Chamber had won several Redbud Awards from the State of Oklahoma Tourism Department, the tourism revenue was growing. He wanted that contract. He convinced the past City Council he could do a better job even without any tourism or advertising experience. By fiscal year end, June 30th, 23, under Oxford, the ratio of personnel and management fees to total income was 52.87%. Several interested parties and some of the City Council started asking questions. By fiscal year end, June 30, 2025, the ratio was at 50.16%, and most of the executives on their staff had 0 experience in tourism. It should be noted, per the MTA financial statement dated 6/30/2025, cash and cash equivalents total $389,837, some of which was restricted funds. It has now been reported to be a little over $100,000, but without any financial statements to back that up. On 6/25/25, the majority of the trustees voted to consider the discontinuation of Visit Muskogee, Film Muskogee, and Roxy Theater, and provided notice to the city. On July 25th, 2025, the trustees, at Oxford's suggestion, voted unanimously to execute a dissolution agreement with the Oxford Production and disperse the IT, assets, fixtures, and promotional materials back to the city. This came with an assurance from Oxford that a smooth and timely transaction would take place. After about 10 months, this has not happened yet. Please refer to the written communication that I gave you. This is a communication between the city attorney, then city attorney, on February 6, 2026, from the City of Muskogee to MTA and Oxford Productions for more details regarding the status at that time, and that was 4 months ago. It's my understanding Oxford has still not turned over all the remaining funds and assets. The computers that were turned back over had been wiped clean and reset to factory settings, and they haven't completed any of what they're calling their final accounting. My advice, just as an old banker, is right now to save some money and save some time, freeze all the checking accounts, send a 10-day demand letter, and request the final settlement, or legal action will begin. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mac.
Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes. Motion passes. Item 3.
Consider approval for the city manager to execute all documents related to the grant application for BRIC Grant Emergency Generator Project in the amount of $1 million with a city match of $250,000 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reedy.
Yes, thank you. So this is a BRIC grant, which is about resilient infrastructure. What we are looking to do is get all our documents executed. This grant requires a 25% match from us, so the total expenditure would be the $1 million, and what we have to do is basically assure them that if given that $1 million, we can have our 25% match. That if we don't have to come up with it today, we haven't gotten approved for the grant. It's just a prerequisite for applying to the grant, so if we didn't have that money, they wouldn't waste their time. So the city has mechanisms for coming up with that funding, like the grant match fund, but it's likely that we wouldn't need that this fiscal year, and with the intent to either use that grant match if it was this fiscal year or next year budget for it accordingly. What we want to do with this grant is at our water treatment plant, we have our basement pumps and our South High service pumps. Right now, if we lose power to the plant, we can still treat water, and we can still send it to town, but the way we send it to town is we have to do a mechanical changeover from electricity to a diesel-driven pump. That changeover takes a couple of hours, and then when we're pumping with that diesel-driven pump, we do lose some pumping capacity in the lower use months from basically September to May. That's not a deal breaker for us, but if we were to have something like that happen in June, July, August, one of the high usage months, it would put us under a real strain. So by applying for this grant and asking for a generator to run that South High service building, it would allow both of those pumps to run at full capacity with no mechanical changeover. So it's very important for us to apply for this grant. This is something that we forecast having to purchase eventually anyway, to have redundant power supply out there, which is extremely necessary for the citizens of Muskogee and the industry in Muskogee. But we had an opportunity to apply for it for this grant. Our staff has worked very, very, very hard on getting all this set up. The deadline for it is Thursday, so we do appreciate the special call council meeting to get this taken care of. Be happy to answer any questions if you guys have them.
I move for approval.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Schuler.
Yes.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan Lowe.
Yes. Motion passes. This
Do we
meeting
need
is
an
now adjourned.
emergency on this?
I'm sorry.
This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.